Greetings and welcome to Prime Directive. I'm your host Jefficho, my co-host Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
So Chris, Star Trek short, Children of Mars.
This is our last one before we get into the swing of things with Picard.
They say it leads us up to the Picard series and tells us a little information.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the word little.
They're not telling you things. Like, all the information you're getting from this is sort of stuff you have to infer, which I kind of like.
I could have taken a 15-minute shuttle ride with Wesley and just hear Picard talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
So, what have you been up to, Wesley? Oh, you know what I've been up to.
Existing in all points in time in the universe, at the same place. And just...
But you decided to come back and be an engineer on the Titan.
Yes, yeah, only in the deleted scenes, Captain.
Yeah. This is all about Mars and the Utopia Planitia yards, which we know from the Countdown comics that Geordi is in charge of building this new fleet.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this fleet will we even see anything that resembles like 24th century ships?
Yes, that was the first big criticism of this, was that all these CGI models are from Disco.
Yeah, two for sure. The other two, like, I never saw that design before.
Yeah, and even the school bus they get picked up in is like a disco shuttle.
Yeah, well,
which kind of makes sense. They're being repurposed for they're like 200 years old, but yeah, the disco era ships at the Utopia Planitia yard was a little weird.
Yeah, it just leads to my fear of this being very disco-esque for the series.
I wish I could swim.
I will say,
but the shorts are done by Disco.
Yes, they are done by the team making Discovery, and they're going to be much smaller budget, and maybe they just didn't want to completely remake all these designs. But it's a little concerning.
Budget-wise, like, they had these locations. I don't understand why they couldn't craft a story longer than 6 minutes, of which 3 minutes is really just the cover of, like, We Can Be Heroes.
Yeah, and that's the second time we've heard Bowie very recently, because in season 2, Tilly and Stamets were singing Space Odyssey for a little bit.
Was that Bowie?
That was Bowie.
Man, I usually enjoy Bowie, and I thought this cover was a bit weak.
Oh, no, it's a Bowie song originally.
Okay.
But it's a cover of that.
Okay, because, honestly, I think it's the Wallflowers or something that did the version I heard first time.
Okay.
So we get some school bullying. You can tell this isn't really a legit Starfleet school because nobody did the two-hander.
Maybe they just don't teach that to children so they don't kill each other.
It's too devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought these little kids are starting to throw punches at each other's faces.
Right.
I'm just like, you're kids. You don't really do that.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering what species the little alien girl was. I thought she looked kind of like Queen Poe, but apparently it's a new species. We haven't seen them before.
Damn blue bloods, I tell ya.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
You get an old Vulcan dude who you think could be a Romulan dude.
Could be a Romulan dude.
And another chick, and everybody's just watching this attack, after the music video ended.
After the music. So this is where we're getting into the meat of it. We can see from the little ticker that this is an attack by rogue synths. So I'm actually very congratulatory to Picard on this, because so far what we've been seeing is just Borg, 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 Borg. And maybe that's just been to build hype, because we know Borg are going to be involved. There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be Romulans. But this rogue synth thing, I think, is what's going to be setting off a lot of the action. That's going to be a lot of what we're dealing with. You'll recall in one of the trailers we saw very briefly what looked like just sort of mass-produced androids. Those are probably the synths, so...
We have an obligation to investigate.
There is no we, Jean-Luc.
Admiral, I am standing up for the Federation, for what it should still represent.
Is this like some kind of slave uprising? Were they being used for construction and that kind of stuff on Utopia Planitia?
I can't believe the Federation would do that, but then again, we're going to see some changes in Federation policies.
Yeah, I could see, Maddox succeeding, and maybe the Federation has just allowed itself to believe that these weren't really sentient creatures. They were just sort of machines that were building to do jobs.
Extraordinary piece of engineering and programming. Yes, you have said that. Commander, you have devoted your life to the study of cybernetics in general. Yes. And Commander Data in particular.
Yes.
And now you propose to dismantle him.
So that I can learn from it and construct more.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if Maddox is even mentioned in this, because like, he was like there leading the charge for that back then, but like there's other brilliant
his
minds.
plan. This was exactly his plan.
There are other brilliant minds, like, and Maddox, kind of close-minded.
Yeah.
How many more?
As many as are needed. Hundreds, thousands if necessary. There is no limit.
And to what end?
To use them as effective units on Federation ships.
I think that's going to be very interesting to see where that is. Maybe this is what causes Picard to leave Starfleet, the fact that Starfleet won't give up this slave labor. Is that what it's going to be?
I don't know. I thought it was weird that, like, the way they did it was saying, like, oh, Picard reacts to the attack that's currently going on right now.
It's the Trump method. He's just live tweeting everything.
Like, they just extend it, like, another 30 seconds and be like, the attack's over. Oh, Admiral Picard, what do you think? Mm-hmm. That's devastating. Well, what else do you think?
Well, they probably didn't want to bring Patrick Stewart in, right? Yeah. They just had a picture of him.
Yeah, that's pretty much the episode. 6 minutes, man.
Yeah, well, it's just, most of it was just setting you up for the emotional gut punch.
There was the cute little handhold as the bullies stopped bullying each other because they both lost their parents, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure.
Well, Mars got fucked, buddy. Did you see that? Everything was exploding.
Before they even colonized Mars has been... Any final thoughts or thoughts of how this is going to lead into it?
I feel like, this was, as far as short treks go, this was more of an information dump than just a little story like The Trouble with Edward or something like that. This is getting us set up for whatever this synth conflict is. I think they're going to be sort of a slave labor, pseudo data force, and they're rising up. We have seen Starfleet kind of do that before. I know you hate Voyager, but at the ending of Author, do you remember? Do you remember the ending of Author, where there's all those copies of the EMH Mark I that are just being made to mine things?
Yeah.
That always sat very poorly with me, because you're watching Voyager for like 7 seasons at this point, and you know the EMH Mark I is like a sentient being, and they're just like, you guys go mine. Just spend your life digging minerals for us. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, I mean, we even get that episode in Voyager with the holograms, like, revolting.
Yes.
So, holographic life.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I mean, I was disappointed in the fact that it was only a 6-minute episode.
Yeah.
I look forward to these shorts because they're content that I'm having to stretch out over months, waiting for a new series. If anything, maybe this just added to the fact that Picard's going to look a bit more disco than I want.
That was definitely a concern. All the cinematography and the assets looked very disco. Up until you see the picture of Captain Picard, there was nothing indicating that it was at a later time.
I would have liked to see Geordi.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that that's just because it's being made by the same crew and company and people, and that's not the aesthetic we're going to be going with. It's not so much that the aesthetic of Discovery is bad, it's just it shouldn't be the aesthetic of 200 years later. Yeah. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's the only thing. We'll see Picard on January 23rd.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for watching.
See ya.